evening, freaks. I am here to do a read straight from the hip with lots of lip for you. I am continuing forward doing the final stretch of the What's on Deck for You in June read. When we last left off, we were checking out what was going on with Sagittarius, and we're going to kick this one off with Capricorn. We've got 3 more signs to do: Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. We'll see how far we get. I want to make sure that the messages that want to come through are allowed to come through. So I'm not putting time limits on these reads. We're just going to flow with it and see what happens. Okay. I'm definitely getting all of these signs wrapped up this week, though. So you'll have something to look back on as you travel through this month and get the clarification you need and pick up the pointers along the way. All right. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can stay tuned on what's coming up here. If you dig the content, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment, let me know how the themes are speaking to you. I love to connect with the subscribers, and I do really appreciate all of the support. All right. Okay. Gonna dive right in. Give this a good shuffle. Just get this deck nice and cleared out for the Capricorn collective. Okay, and let me go ahead and get that banner up for you all. Also, I will be putting the timestamps in the comments after this recorded stream airs live. Okay, I have to wait until it goes to the playthrough though before I have access to the comments, but I will put timestamps for you all so you can just jump right ahead to the portion of the read you want to get to. And I will pin those timestamps in the comments section, okay? They will always be there on these lives. And I am going to be working on getting all the timestamps on all the multiple, sign readings that I have on the channel. It's going to take me a little time, but I am going to get that all set up for you all so it's super convenient, okay? Because I know time is valuable and I don't want to have you, searching for what you're looking for and wasting a bunch of time. And I do appreciate the time you share with me dropping in for these readings, okay? So without further ado, Capricorn Collective Spirit, what is coming in for Capricorn Collective in June? What's on deck for Capricorn Collective in June? How can they move forward in a way that's empowering and that puts them in an advantageous position? We already got quite a few cards out on the board. I see an interesting situation right here. I see that there's a lot of things kind of crossing your path at this time, Capricorn. I feel like you're in a place where you're trying to see where you should invest your energy. Where I should invest my energy is sort of your, like, it's the crux of your matter. It's what's holding things up, and you're trying to get really clear on how you want to set your sights. We see with this Seven of Pentacles that you've already been, putting a lot of energy into something. You've been slowly building something, and maybe it feels like it's kind of moving at a snail's pace. You're waiting for sort of those ships to come in or for the result to be seen for all the effort that you've made, but it feels like, God, could it hurry up already? There's that same sensation of just being a little bit of frustrated with how long it's taking for things to pull together, for things to manifest as you envision. And yet you can't deny that you've seen some growth here with the Seven of Pentacles. You've taken a step further in the fruition of what you're trying to call in. But there is this like point where you're sitting and considering, should I continue to invest my energy in this direction? Is this wise for me to do? Will it pan out? And I do believe this is because things have been moving so slowly. There seems to be sort of like something stuck in the situation that's prevented forward motion. I do believe that this has to do with a love relationship. We have the Lovers here. It did come in sideways, as did the Four of Wands. All right. So I think this concerns like a soulmate relationship. It's somebody that you may be considering marriage with. It may be somebody that you're currently living with, or that you're considering asking to move in with you. There's some kind of like up leveling occurring in this relationship. But you're sort of like weighing things out. I feel like these are crossing influences still. There's a lot of like this crossroads energy for you. And the thing about the crossroads is it's like people can get this real stuck feeling when they're in the crossroads. And it doesn't really take much to move the energy once you're stuck in the crossroads. All you need to do is take one single step, even a teeny one. And that's enough to start to get the momentum going. So what I would say to you is don't get too locked into gridlock. Um, Consider where you can make a move. Where can you make a move forward from your present position? And just see what happens when you make even a little forward motion happen in your situation. Okay, maybe come at it from a different angle, maybe have a different approach. I just got, maybe you need to bring your communication forward more. Sometimes you might think that people can read your mind and they can't, and you might have made some statements in the past about what you wanted or what that looked like, and you might be in a position where you're rethinking it. And if that's the case, you have to talk to the person. You have to let them know that you're seeing the context of the relationship in a new way, or they might not have a clue. And maybe that's why things feel stalled out. Maybe there is a relationship that you did put on ice, and you've been trying to weigh it out and feel out, is this right for me? Is this the direction I want to head in? There's something that needs to shift here if you want to bring this together. I mean, we do see that there's something very real and beautiful that could manifest here, but it does involve, sort of breaking up this inertia and creating some kind of forward motion. Yeah, we see that the major crossing influence here is that there's like just this dissatisfaction, this disappointment. We do see that, there is a cup of love that's being offered to you here, but for some reason you've really closed yourself off to it. I mean, look at this figure here. They have their arms crossed over their chest. They're not willing to open their heart. I also see a lot of this energy where you're looking back at the past. You're looking at things that disappointed you in the past, that didn't live up to your expectations in the past. And, expectations are like the seed of disappointment. It really is better to just flow naturally with situations and let them unfold rather than try to, try to get locked into things having to fit within a certain framework in your mind. It doesn't allow for any sort of creativity to come into relationship. And one of the best things about a healthy relationship is that it's an partnership. Like you create it together, you co-create it together. I'm picking up like this energy of a little bit of stubbornness on your part. I just noticed this figure in this card really looks almost like a petulant child, like, my way or the highway, and I think this actually might be some of what's led to your sense of disappointment. It can't be all your way. That's not how love works, right? But the point is I feel like you're looking a lot at the past, and it's because you're looking at the past that is preventing you from seeing present opportunities. And if you want to have this thing turn around, for some of you, you're single, this isn't just necessarily, somebody who's currently in a dynamic, though that story did come in. I'm going to give a few different scenarios here as this story unfolds. But this could also be that, growth is being prevented in love for you and your options for love and this opportunity to step into a beautiful, love union that actually can meet you and bring you to higher levels of commitment, whatever that looks like for you. Not everybody wants to go and tie the knot, but whatever commitment means to you, we see there's an opportunity to have a happy home life with somebody, build with somebody. But because you're not open to it, because of experiences you've had with the past, maybe you've just decided, I'm just going to be alone. That's just how it's going to go. I'm not going to let myself be vulnerable to anybody. You're really losing a valuable opportunity where you actually could see a lot of growth. Okay. I do feel there's this big, strong element coming in around this piece. I believe a lot of it has to do with communication. I feel like the communication's blocked. I'm feeling like this constriction in my throat as I'm talking about it. Mm. We do see here the basis of the matter is that there's some stuff going on beneath the surface with this high priestess. In this context, with the lack of communication, I'm really feeling strongly that this has to do with subconscious stuff, you know, that you haven't healed, that you haven't really taken a look at. It's sort of like the stuff that's hidden in the dark corners of your mind. You know, I feel like you need to make this stuff conscious, and that's how you can transform that energy. There is definitely something that needs to be communicated here. Pisces energy there, okay? Gemini energy with the Lovers card. Yeah, this is interesting. I think this has to do with a relationship where you've experienced a separation, okay? Where things have come to an end. You both are looking in different directions, you know. However, these cards come out says a lot about the situation, okay? In this particular layout, the way I pulled them from the deck, the two figures are looking away from each other, right? But if we were to turn it the other way, one would be, you know, looking forward toward the other, and the other would be looking back. But because I pulled them out like this shows me very clearly that there's been some kind of ending in this situation. There's been some kind of breakup. And I think you're rethinking this. One of you is, okay? Because what follows is the Knight of Wands coming forward from there, okay? And right after that is the Emperor, all right? So fire sign energy coming in real strong, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Aries is an Emperor card, but it can really be anybody who's holding that big boss energy. This is somebody who they lead. They're not a follower, okay? Very strong personality. They get shit done. When they know what they want, they go for it. And we do see this Emperor is making up their mind. It could be a fire sign, that Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Here also, just to call out the signs as we go along, do pay attention that when I refer to the signs, we're talking about any strong placement in the chart. So this could be sun sign, moon sign, rising, Venus, north node. Also, if just the house of that particular sign is really loaded with planets, that could apply too. All right. So both of these cards, they're of the same suit, true pair. This is air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Okay. So we have a double Gemini message here on the board. I always like to point those out as cards come in. Okay. Because we did have the Lovers up there. So Gemini featuring prominently, but we got air signs, we got fire signs on the board. Now, with this Knight of Wands energy, I do have to call this out as well. With this Knight of Wands energy coming in with the Emperor here, okay? This could be that what kind of sabotaged this situation in the past was there's like too much of this like kind of player energy with the Knight of Wands. Because the thing about the Knight of Wands is they're kind of known as the ones that just want to, you know, go out and have a good time for a night. They like to play the field. They like to keep it nice and loose. They don't want to get into any kind of commitment. And the thing is here, we do have the Emperor upright. All right. If this Emperor was in reverse, I would say this was somebody who was really locked in their ways. But I think there's been sort of a maturation process that's happened since this relationship ended. I feel like there's been something that's come forward. I don't know. Maybe, you know, when this relationship ended, when you parted ways, the person who was kind of like out there wanting to give their wand to everybody or wanting to partake of everybody's wand, pick which side you're on, kind of had a change of heart and realized, oh, it's not all that I thought it would be. Maybe they ran into some drama around that. But we do see there's a new beginning that comes here, all right, with the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is also a summer timing card, all right? So this is a really beautiful sign. Summer is just around the bend. You know, we do have summer solstice coming up. And this brings a change of fortune with the Wheel of Fortune card here, okay? It gets things moving again. The stall out stops, you know. There's an improvement in a situation, and we see this is justice. Balance comes into the situation. So this is really beautiful. Justice is Libra energy. So for the air signs, we have double Libra message out here. We have double Gemini message here. Yeah, I do see it's really important for you to drop the defensiveness, though. I'm feeling this really strongly. This Nine of Wands here, this is somebody that, you know, they've been through it. They've been through the shit. Life dragged them a hard mile. They're usually anticipating the worst. With it to come in with a Libra card, I feel like you might handle some defensiveness coming from the other party. Whoever felt wounded in this situation, they might have some defenses up. They might sort of be like kind of holding their own and suspicious. It might take some time to work through that situation. But try to be understanding. I'm really feeling a lot going on in the throat chakra. I feel you all need to communicate in this situation. Whatever's going on here, the communication is blocked, and that's what's holding things up. Yeah, there definitely was an ending here. We do see that. We see also that there hasn't been a lot of resistance in this ending. And this is an interesting piece that's kind of tumbling in. Maybe in the past, you've been used to there being a lot of turbulence in your endings in relationships. Maybe you've been used to a lot of fighting, a lot of drama, and you're kind of surprised that you didn't encounter that in this situation, that it was just kind of like this peaceful letting go. And because of that, I think that might have sort of got you thinking different about things. Yeah, we see it gave you a different view with this hangman energy, Pisces here. Some of you may have Pisces strongly aspected in your chart, so this might be really speaking to those of you. Yeah, we see in the past, you were used to drama when you had a relationship end with this Five of Wands energy, but coming right behind that, this is the title card for the Paulina Tarot, but I've given it several different meanings, and what it's really telling me is it's like this kind of rewrote your sort of view about what relationships are like and how they can kind of move forward, and that it doesn't have to be the same old story as what you've had in the past. Like, things can change is always possible, and you got to sort of greet situations with fresh eyes. You can't look at the past all the time as a barometer for your future. That just doesn't apply. Yeah, we do see that there is a lot of, a sense of loss here. This has been kind of like a dark night of the soul experience. Yeah, a lot of disappointment. This change brought a lot of disappointment. Five of Cups, okay? And there really is this looking back at the past, looking what was spilled. I can't help but notice this here, the figure is looking down at Three Cups. To me, this is really calling forth that, this was supposed to be something that was going to be a celebration, and then it ended up being a disappointment. And I think in a lot of cases, for a lot of you, Capricorn Collective, that disappointment was around a third party interference. Yeah, because we see that what's above with this rebirth energy that's brought in with the bats is a Two of Cups. And you're trying to be told, hey, there's a gift here, just take that wisdom, that pearl of wisdom that you learned from this experience. And if you take it, there's a beautiful union here that can come in for you. So I really feel like this is kind of coming down to like a third party dynamic in the situation interfered. And this is what caused the ending. And that there is no new beginning if there's still third party dynamic. That's what I'm picking up. Okay. And you pick what side you're on. Either the person you were involved with had a third party dynamic, or you did. And I want to clarify when we're talking about a third party dynamic, because it's not always that, somebody was, screwing around with somebody else and being unfaithful in the relationship, although it can be. Okay. But even a matter of like texting back and forth, a third party, for flirtation purposes, even though it's all happening on social media, and there's actually no physical content. Well, maybe there's not any physical content there either. Maybe you've been dealing with a catfish. Maybe you think you've been dealing with a real life person, and it's it's just a fake figure. You don't even know who you're talking to. This happens online a lot, okay? But regardless, maybe there's just a lot of like sexting messages going back and forth over social media. It's still, if you were in a relationship, that's a betrayal. It's an emotional affair, it's a third party element coming into the mix. Likewise, something a lot of people don't consider is, let's say they're having a problem in their relationship. They start talking to other people about it. They invite other people into their situation. That's a third party situation. A third party situation could also be work. You're more married to your work. You're more concerned with making money than you are with, putting any quality time into your relationship. Okay. Third party element. It can be a family member. It can be nosy friends. Okay. It can be an addiction. These are all things that can act as a third party interference in a relationship. We do see that that's what ended this connection here. Now, as I was talking about that, who that third party influence could have been an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy here. Okay, that's possible. In some cases, this is also your card. Okay, so I see dual message here. That the earth sign could have been the third party influence, and I also see it could be saying you brought in this third party influence, that you were the one engaged in this behavior. Yeah. And right behind that, I think I'm on the right track with that. We see the Eight of Swords, which shows that this puts you actually in a position where you thought this was about having more freedom, but it actually made you feel really fucking trapped. It trapped you in your head. It led to you feeling very confused, not knowing what action to take, not knowing how to correct the situation. And this made you feel terribly stuck. Okay. But the deal is all you need to do is you need to just, loosen those ties you bound around yourself. All right. Take off your blindfold, look at things as they are, and understand that, again, like I was saying, opening up. It was 22:33 on the clock when I said this. Okay. All you need to do is just take a single step to get yourself out of the crossroads. All right. So be honest with yourself about the step you need to take. I feel like you know the step you need to take, but it's a burden to you. You know what you need to do. You know you need to let go of all these other wands, all this giving the wand to all these other people, or conversely, other people giving their wands to you. You need to fucking drop this shit, because what you really want to grow is withering on the vine, and it's not going to have any hope of growing. You're not going to have any growth if you keep moving like that. This is what I'm picking up really strongly. And, with these readings, you can always pick up on cross-watcher energy, okay? So this could be flip-flopped. You may be like, this sounds like the person I was dealing with, and that can absolutely apply. Take it as it resonates. For some of you, you're the one who started this shit. And for others of you, this is what, got done to you. We do have another Taurus significator out here, okay? With the Hierophant energy coming right behind that. So that's, a double confirmation on Taurus as possible interference in the situation. All right, I'm going to do a cut of the deck energy here, see if we can get any further information for the Capricorn collective. Okay, we do see a new beginning as possible, all right, with this Ace of Wands, but it does require you to take action. You can't just stay stuck in your head. You know what you want to have happen here. You know what you need to do. And again, with the Hierophant card too, this card can also speak of serious commitment. So this is really, I feel like this is the choice the Capricorns are trying to make right now. They know they have an opportunity to have like a serious committed relationship. This could go to the level of, a lot of times the Hierophant can stand for marriage, okay? So it could be on that level, at the very least, a spiritual marriage, somebody that you're really, you're making a firm commitment to them. They're going to be your focus. For some of you with this, I'm going to speak to all people here on this channel, okay? With this communal influence down here too, in some cases, this could be somebody coming to the realization that they're polyamorous. they're coming to the conclusion that they feel like they can love and share the same depth of love for more than one person. And this is why they feel terribly confused moving forward, because they can't choose, they can't choose because they love all these people. I do see that there's some kind of opportunity here to create healing, but it does involve taking action, right? No matter what the situation is that you're dealing with. And it does require some kind of commitment. So I know a lot of times in a polyamory situation, there's usually like the main person, all right? And then there's the others who are kind of also involved in the situation. So maybe this could be like opening up a relationship, but giving a solid commitment. You might be trying to figure out how you want to move forward with this and coming to an arrangement that feels good to all parties involved. But we do see, with that 9 of Wands energy that came up, around this particular union here, the one that ended, somebody in this situation is going to feel very defensive. And I don't know if that's going to work for everybody in your situation. So I really feel like for those dealing with a polyamorous type of dynamic, I just wanted to speak to that because there's all different kinds of people who live all different kinds of lifestyles who tune in for readings, all right? Ultimately, this is making a decision around commitment. It is. And I think in particular, with this relationship that's split up, having no third party dynamic is an important piece for one of the people in this matter. Okay. So there's a big thing that needs to be resolved here. Okay. We do see that union's going to happen though. We do see that there's a true pair that comes out in the end with the King of Cups, the Queen of Cups. Somehow this issue is resolved. And with that Ace of Wands, that's usually a timing card, represents fall. So I think you're going to start to see this situation start to get some motion. Things are going to become a bit untangled in June. That's going to be kind of your work that you're doing. But I don't really see it coming to fruition, until the fall. All right. And this is also cups or water sign energy. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, anywhere where there's strong placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. All right. So really who you're dealing with could be just about anyone. We've had all the different suits show up on the board. We have fire, we have earth, we have water, and we have air. Okay. So feel it out. You'll know how the message applies to you, but I definitely feel like nothing's going to happen until you take action. And the action that needs to happen is communication. And I'm getting very strongly that it's falling in your lap to get that ball rolling, Capricorn. All right. So now I'm going to move on to Aquarius. And I'm going to just take a little sip of this. Man, there's been a lot of stuff coming up around the throat. Telling you, a lot of communication blockages out there. We still are in Mercury retrograde post shadow. All right, so that still can have an effect. Communications can be a little stalled. Things can still be a little blocked, but over the next couple of weeks, we're really going to see this unwind. But with Saturn retrograde right now, which Saturn is Capricorn's ruler. Okay, so this is bleeding a little into Aquarius. And I'm just noticing that. So Aquarius, you might be dealing with a Capricorn for the signs, just to kind of bleed in like that. But I would say, Capricorn, Saturn is your ruler, all right? So there definitely is a need for you to take action to resolve your situation. It's not going to come to you. Those of you Capricorns who are like wanting to work something out with somebody and you're expecting them to come to you, and you could wait your whole life, that's not going to come forward. If you want it to change, you're the one who's going to have to take the step out of the crossroads. And I believe it involves you actually communicating, you know? So I think that that's what June's about for you, is it's getting clear on what you want to communicate, and not only getting clear on what you want to communicate, but how, and making it happen fast. Okay. Not holding off, because that Knight of Wands is what moves things forward, you know? I think your communication is going to be passionate. I think it's going to be purposeful. And I think when you're ready to deliver it, it's really going to come from a very rooted place for you. And I'm believing that some of this is for Aquarius too, for it to be, you know, filtering into Aquarius. Because I thought I was done with you Capricorns, okay? But it's Aquarius's time now, all right? So time for Aquarius. All right, Aquarius. Take what of that, you know, spoke to you, because I feel like it could have also been a bit of a message for you. What is coming in for the Aquarius collective in June? What's on deck for Aquarius collective in June? Woo! Whoa! Did you see the way that flew out right in front of me? Whoop. The High Priestess, okay? That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, it's interesting because I think there is a little bleed-in factor, you know, between that Capricorn reading and Aquarius's reading here too. We also see, Aquarius, that you are very closed off here, you know? Same thing. You're thinking about the ways that you've been disappointed, the ways that you've been hurt, the ways that you've invested energy, it didn't pan out. You feel like love is a little bit of a waste of time, you know? This is some kind of disappointment. I just said love. I mean, it could apply to any situation. It's something where you've been really emotionally disappointed, you know? But we'll have to see further. But love is the first thing that came out, and I'm not sure why. We'll see as the story builds. There is an opportunity. You are being given an opportunity for a new beginning here. We see that, but you're not wanting to look at it. You know, you're not wanting to let it in. I think you're feeling a little stubborn. I just got that you're trying to punish somebody. Maybe this person is really like giving you the runaround for a long time, and you're like, oh yeah, oh yeah. How long did you make me wait? Now you want to make me an offer, and I'm just supposed to just jump to it. Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll see. You need to understand my side. You can wait around a bit for a change. I do. I feel that energy around this. I don't know why that's coming in. But I think this is like a little bit of a tit for tat energy. I do feel that there's something kicking off in your intuition as well. You know, there's something that's been kind of going on behind the scenes, and you're picking it up intuitively. And I think that's also part of the reason why you're holding off on opening yourself up to this new opportunity. You feel like something isn't quite clear to you yet. You feel like you can't really see the whole situation. Yeah, we do see there's a toxic element operating here with the Devil card. And the Devil is Capricorn's card. Okay, so some of you Aquariuses are dealing with a Capricorn, and that's why that came up. All right. We do see there's this real feeling of kind of being bound to a situation. I have to say this right here, coming in with the High Priestess, the Devil, okay, this shackling element. I have to wonder if there might have been some kind of manipulative, for those of you on an occult path, you know, stay live to this. For the rest of you, don't get hung up on this, but I do need to speak to it, okay? There may be some kind of element of somebody did some kind of binding work here, okay? You know, maybe somebody did some kind of love spell, some kind of come to me spell, some kind of domination spell. I mean, I just have to speak to that. Because we do see, this sense of being changed, this sense of being bound, and with that high priestess energy, something's hidden. This could be somebody who did some kind of like left hand path kind of working, all right? you know um Ironically, I actually think it would be the feminine in this case. This female figure is wearing a mask. She looks like a good time, she looks like she's a lot of fun. We see the devil here wanted to make a deal with her, is holding that ace of pentacles in hand, and this is what's really wild, is what falls right after that is an ace of pentacles right here. Okay, so you're wanting to make an offer to this woman, but this woman's wearing a mask. And I really feel like this woman was the high priestess in this situation. This some woman who, witchy kind of woman, does some workings. I'm going to go with this story. Okay. It's coming in really strong for you, Aquarius types. All right. Another story, another way this could go is that you've really been pouring your money into your finances. You've really been building your business. You're very focused in that regard. And there's some kind of toxic element involved that you can't see. And it may involve somebody trying to get their mitts on more of their share of the money than is really due them. This could be in relation to some kind of business partnership situation. It also could be in regard to a love matter. Maybe you have suspicions that somebody's only with you for your money, or they're trying to take advantage of you on that level in some way. Okay, this piece is coming in really strong. This very well could be around work and finances. I did get the romantic story coming in too, so if that applies to you, go ahead and ride with that. But we also see here that there has been a work situation going on. This is where, there's partners involved in building something financially, and there's been a little bit of a challenge with moving forward in this situation. Air sign and fire sign figuring prominently, just because I noticed the fiery nature and the wings on this other horse. It reminds me of fire and air, so I'm saying fire and air signs. This is also a card of Cancer, this Chariot card here. Okay, so might have some of those signs playing a role in this situation. But there's forward motion, but it's been a little bit chaotic, and we see that people are on different pages. They're wanting to go in different directions. Everybody's wanting something different. You got to get people on the same page. A Leo could figure strongly in this situation. I say this because we got the Queen of Wands coming in right with the Strength card. Okay, that's Leo's card, strength right there. All right. So the Queen of Wands, air energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius could be factoring prominently in this situation. I'm really cueing in though to the Leo energy pretty strongly. I see that there's a need to tame this energy. This might be an energy that's been a little difficult to appease. Okay. And in relation to that original story, that came in, that could have been the controlling influence in this situation. All right. If this person has an inclination toward doing workings, they may have done some kind of binding magic for those of you that are on that path. Okay. This is broad coven, so I speak to shit like that in my readings. It's not everybody's story. Not everybody's on a path like that. Not everybody hangs out with freaks like that. Okay. But for those of you who do, that is something you might want to be live to. But we see here, there's an empress that tames the lion. Okay. And an empress is the embodiment of all four queens. Okay. So it's someone who's gone through the emotional healing work. They've integrated the Queen of Swords, their ability to make discernments coming from a very clear place. They're able to cut off what doesn't serve. They're able to tell the truth. They're a good communicator, but they don't suffer any bullshit. Not at all. You know, they know how to shut down their emotions when they need to, so they can act with precision. And then the Queen of Wands energy, which is all about being in your mojo, really feeling yourself, having confidence, being very, very like passion forward, able to take action, ambitious. Queen of Cups energy, it's all about that ability to give and receive love, being in touch with the intuition, able to express emotions in healthy ways. And then the Queen of Pentacles, which is the ability to have stability, you know, having the ability to grow for oneself financially, you know, really being able to root one's visions. All right. So the Empress is the embodiment of all of those Queen's energies and is associated with the signs of both Libra and Taurus. Okay. So these could all be like factors in your situation. We see that the Empress energy would be kind of the energy coming in to help bring balance to this Leo energy potentially. Okay. But we do see like a third party dynamic here. Okay. So I think there's been some element, finances are connected to this situation. I believe that that's the case, even if it was a love relationship with a third party element. But again, I'm not really seeing any cups on this board. It was more just a sense I had. I do see wands. I do see that devil element, and I see lots of earth. Okay. So I do feel like there's passions involved in this situation. And even if it's a work situation, there's definitely this sense of like people really seeing things their way, or if it's like some kind of business project, uh, really having differences in creative direction, feeling very invested in the direction that you want to go in, and this really being kind of like difficult to get on the same page. I do feel there's messiness with money involved though, but there feels like there's a strength to overcome these challenges for sure. But there's been a controlling element involved. And for some of you, this controlling element has been around somebody trying to control with money, using money as a form of control or trying to have control of the money. In other words, they've wanted to take more of their share. Okay. For others of you, this is like you were involved in a third party dynamic. You were trying to get everybody to work together, be on the same page. There was a lot of passions involved, and could have been a Leo, you know, that was really wanting to have control in the situation. Maybe was acting a bit out of pocket. This was causing some issues, causing a little bit of, you know, pulling in both directions, having difficulty moving forward. But we do see that there's like hope that comes into the situation. The star comes in here. All right. Things took a little dark turn for a while. Got a little rough there, but you know, there's still light at the end of the tunnel. The star also represents Aquarius. So, you know, you coming through your own reading strong here. Okay. And we do see with the Two of Wands here, there's an opportunity to move forward in partnership and have it be a positive experience. But what do we notice here? We have Two of Wands. We don't have a third party situation. Okay. So for those of you who have maybe had, you know, business partnerships going on, you might want to think about who you're aligning, you know, with. There might need to be some changes that have to be made, maybe even some contractual changes that need to happen so things are, you know, settled equitably. I do think it's best in business for people to do their own thing right now. I keep reiterating this in my readings, and I'm saying it to you too. It's better to do your own thing. It's cool to do like a project here and there with somebody else. But when you start to get into this, you know, multiple party dynamic in business, it can get really messy right now, just with everything going on. I do see some solution coming forward here, but I do see a partner being dropped. I do see it going down to just 2 people. Okay? Apply as it fits for you. It's either happening in your business situations or it's happening in your romantic situations. In some cases for you, it's happening in both scenarios. Okay? But the third party element is what was causing problems. And it was really affecting finances in a negative way. Okay? There's some sticky financial piece here that wasn't quite right. This brings successful conclusion to matters, okay? There is a need to wrap up an old cycle, and I do believe it's about moving a third-party element out of the mix, okay? And this brings wish fulfillment here, all right? With this 9 of Cups. Brings gratification, happiness, all right? 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords here. You want to be aware of the 7 of Swords because what's right behind this, all right, is the 6 of Wands, which is victory, success, public acclaim. So you got to recognize that, you know, somewhere in your situation, there's somebody who's trying to block your success, Aquarius. They know what you want. They know what prize you have your eyes set on. And they are acting as a saboteur in your situation. They're working behind your back. You've got some third party influence here that's trying to block your blessings. You need to move them out of the picture because if you don't, it could sabotage your success. I see that if you move this influence out, you'll get where you want to go. And not only where will you get where you want to go, but you're going to be extremely successful when you get there. And there will be public recognition of it. Like people are going to see you go through this up leveling, and you can count on this, okay? Because this is the judgment. And look at this peaceful position you end up in the end. Really, really positive sign here, okay? This looks great. That judgment. You just got to get this interloper, you know, out of the frame because they're causing problems for sure. Yeah, it's time to ice that out, put it on rest, you know, maybe take a break, take some space while you let this settle with the 4 of Swords. Just let go and trust that everything will work out properly. And in the end, it brings you this ultimate happiness here with the Sun, okay? This is also a Leo card, all right? This is a Leo card as well. And also, this has been coming in really strong lately. I got a lot of sentience going on right now. This has been coming in really strong lately too with the Sun. The Sun is also really speaking to me of Leo season this year. I feel like Leo season is when everything pops off, you know? A lot of people are going to be getting their blessings, their big blessings in Leo season. That's when they're really going to see all the time, the effort, the work they've put in, the challenges they've been struggling with, everything kind of irons out and you see, you know, your reward on the other side of that. So I see you really reaching this like moment of success, you know, and recognition. In particular in business, I'm really seeing it come in strongly, but also in terms of your personal life, I believe things are really going to take an upturn in Leo season. So looking at late July, August, okay, that time, it's really going to be beautiful. And that's when you get to like lay down this feeling of being burdened and you finally get to pour your energy into what you want to see grow with this 10 of Wands. You know, you move out of that place of indecision and confusion and you step into this Queen of Pentacles energy, okay, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and that's all about rooting your manifestations, getting your money in order, you know, really arriving at the place where you root those visions like we were talking about, right? So it looks very good for you, Aquarius, but you got some stuff to work through. There's somebody in your situation that you need to, you know, you need to move out of the picture because they're acting as a blocking influence to your blessings, materially and personally. All right. So feel it out, get in touch, work with your intuition. I believe you already know what factor needs to go. I really do. You know, with that High Priestess being there, If you just drop in, if you just create some space to really lean into it and feel it out, I think you're going to know exactly what the third party influence needs to go, which one needs to go. And it's also not just about a person, okay? Remember, third party influence can also be like an addiction. It can be being too invested in one area of life to the detriment of another. Like if all you're focused on is your money and that's all you have time for, then recognize the way that's going to cause problems in your relationships. It's about you defining what balance works for you and what does success really mean to you. What do you really want to achieve? If it's just all about money, then at the end of the day, how are you going to feel if all you got is a bunch of money, but you have no kind of like emotional fulfillment in your life? So it's about you coming to those conclusions. But I do feel like there's some third party element. It's affecting your finances and your personal life in a negative way, and you need to move that influence out. Once you move that influence out, then you're going to really see things come forward in such a big way, and I see big success for you by the end of summer. All right, so we are at 51:15 on the clock. Wow, double sixes. That's like all about coming into your purpose. Aquarius, I think that was just a final message for you. I think you're really aligning with your purpose. And for that to be double like that, and with that relationship piece coming in, I think you're kind of going to meet your match. I feel big soulmate energy coming in for you. And it's really just a beautiful time for you moving forward. Okay. But I think I am going to wrap up this read here because I only get an hour with these recordings on StreamYard, and I do not want to shortchange Pisces. I got to do a deep dive with Pisces, and maybe I'll also do a read that's like Pisces and then like High Priestess, since that's Pisces card, High Priestess Magician Collective, okay? And just make it kind of fun because I did a general collective to open. So maybe we'll end it with a witchy collective, okay? And look for that read to come in later this week. And have a beautiful evening.